From the nation's capital, Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce. A weekly discussion about the federal issues most important to Nevada. And now, from Washington, D.C., here's Marilee Joyce.
And good day to you. I'm Marilee Joyce, and this is Eye on Washington, the only statewide Nevada news program produced in Washington, D.C. Every week, Eye on Washington takes you straight to Capitol Hill for a discussion with Nevada's delegation and other leaders about the federal matters that matter to you. Today's topic, well, there's silver in them thar hills. We'll tell you about this major mineral that has an important history in Nevada as well as an important future. My special guest today is Michael DiRienzo, the executive director of the Silver Institute. That's the Washington-based silver representative of the silver industry. Yeah. Thanks for being here today.
Well, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Welcome. Well, we do a lot of shows on gold here on Eye on Washington. After all, Nevada's the world's 5th largest gold producer, and in a sour state economy, gold has been golden for some Nevada communities. But today on Eye on Washington, we'll tell you about another major mineral from Nevada mines. We'll ask my guests about the importance of silver to Nevada and to this nation. And we'll talk about efforts on the Hill to strengthen and protect silver mining and the silver industry. Well, let's start with some fun Nevada history. Nevada sent 1,200 men to fight for the Union during the Civil War, but its main contribution to the cause, $400 million in silver from the Comstock lode, which was used to finance the effort to defeat the southern states. The mineral remains so very important today. Just this past August, the Silver Institute released its Future of Silver Industrial Demand Report. If you think silver is needed just for that pretty necklace you're wearing or your fancy tableware, you should think again. While the new report focuses on silver's content in more modern devices like cell phones, tablet computers, laptops, and ebooks, silver is truly everywhere. You'd be surprised to learn it's an important component in your home's insulation, plays a big role in green efforts. 90% of photovoltaic cells, for instance, rely on silver paste. If you drive, you can thank a silver miner. Every electrical action in a modern car is activated with silver-coated contacts. It's needed in photography, in medicine, in nanotechnology, and so much more. Michael DiRienzo, welcome to Eye on Washington.
Thank you.
You know, we're going to get to some federal issues in our next segment, but for now, let's just open with how important is silver both to Nevada and to the nation?
Well, you pretty much hit the nail on the head there with that encapsulation of silver's uses, but it really truly is the one metal that's all around you. It is in your iPhone, it's in your BlackBerry, it's in your television, your automobile. It surrounds you. It's what makes your electrical components work. Silver is the best conductor of electricity, and as such, more scientists, innovators, and so forth look to silver to provide the tool that makes that product work.
You know, its role in medicine, I think that's fascinating. Mm-hmm. Here's something I found when I was researching. It says, quote, a breathing tube with fine coating of silver was recently approved to reduce the risk of ventilator-associated pneumonia. That's amazing. What else in the medical world?
Well, you know, bandages, especially for burn victims and so forth, are coated with the thin coat of silver. Most of your EMTs across the nation today have silver-based gauzes in the back of their vehicles to assist on the scene, on the spot, victims of burns, victims of accidents, and so forth. But you can also buy these over the counter. You can buy silver curad bandages that have just a microscopic amount of silver, but yet what the silver does is it makes the healing go faster and it prevents infection.
If we did not have silver, what would bandages? I mean,
it would just take longer. If we went back to when you and I were growing up, it was just a regular Band-Aid with a piece of gauze. This technology has developed over the years. They're using silver now to go ahead and treat that wound more effectively from the moment the Band-Aid goes on. But it's not just there. It's in catheters. It's all over the hospital rooms. Silver is coated into the operating rooms, into the operating table itself. It's used on all the operating instruments. It's woven into the ductwork of the hospitals, nursing homes, and so forth, and into the beds. So the world of silver, when it comes to health and medical uses, is just really beginning.
You know, it's a solar energy. Nevada is a solar energy rock star, and it sounds like silver plays a big role there. What about those photovoltaic, cells that turn sun into power, correct?
Yeah, you know, in 2010, about 50 million ounces of silver were used in that one application alone. And in 2011, that number rose to about 65 million ounces of silver. And by 2015, you're looking at about 100 million ounces of silver being used in that one technology alone. And the reason being is as the world looks to reduce its reliance on fossil fuels and to have a more green environment, solar cells are currently one aspect and one avenue in which governments, businesses, and even retail consumers are looking to power their homes. You know,
I want to look at so many years ago, there weren't, you know, tablet computers or laptops or, you know, it's certainly not the iPhones that we have today. And silver is playing a major role in a lot of modern technology, isn't it?
You know, silver is one of its main uses is in electronics. We're doing another report, a follow-up to the report we released last year, and we're really going to drill down into tablet computers or tablets and so forth. It's ubiquitous in those products, and they would not operate if it weren't for silver. Now you're seeing silver touchscreens on some of these tablets coming out of Korea. In other words, the screens are coated with a fine sheen of silver to prevent spread of bacteria if you use mine and I use yours and so forth.
Oh,
not only will it be used on the inside, we're now seeing it's being used on the outside.
Fascinating. We're going to learn a lot more in a minute. And right when we return, what's happening on Capitol Hill to protect and strengthen the silver industry? That's next.
You're watching Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce. Brought to you by the National Mining Association, Caesars Entertainment, NV Energy, the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, Western Lithium Corporation, the Nevada Mining Association, the Regional Transportation Commission of Washoe County, and Skyline Restaurant and Casino.
America's minerals have made us a nation of self-reliant dreamers, shaping our world and the endless ways we enjoy it. But red tape often forces us to import more than half the minerals we depend on. Minerals we already have. We don't import our dreams. Shouldn't that go for our minerals too? The National Mining Association. Learn more at nma.org.
You already watch Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce, Nevada's only statewide program produced in Washington, D.C. But for even more news from Capitol Hill that affects you, your family, and your business, you need to read Nevada's Washington Watch, our online newsletter. In-depth reporting on federal efforts that impact you. Our exclusive Inside the Beltway column, putting a microscope on Nevada's congressional delegation. Guest editorials about what Nevada needs from the Hill. Nevada's Washington Watch, your watch on Washington. Subscribe today at nevadaswashingtonwatch.com.
All of us at Caesars Entertainment have something we want to say.
Play responsibly.
Play responsibly.
We don't want you to gamble if you've had too much to drink.
You shouldn't gamble if you're lonely or depressed.
And if you're under 21, you're not allowed to play.
No.
No matter which of our casinos you come to, our message is always the same.
Play responsibly.
Play responsibly.
Play responsibly. We know you're coming to our casinos to have a good time, and we always want you to leave feeling like you did.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Hi, welcome back to Eye on Washington, our discussion of silver's importance to Nevada and to this nation. My special guest today, Michael DiRienzo, the Executive Director of the Silver Institute. That's the Washington-based silver representative. So what's happening to keep silver strong? Here are just a few of the silver-related efforts supported by our delegation. Let's start with nanotechnology. I'll let my guest tell you about colloidal nanosilver, but nanoscale silver particles have been used in everything from pigments to photographs to wound treatment. And a federal fun fact for you, our Senator Harry Reid has visited with Nevada-based Altair Nanotechnologies to look at nano's role in detecting chemical and biological agents. The senator certainly has advocated for the silver industry. He was the author of the Support American Eagle Silver Bullion Program Act that authorized the Secretary of the Treasury to purchase silver on the open market when the silver stockpile is depleted. And in more general mining news, delegation members over the years have advocated shortening what mining officials call a long and overly burdensome mine permitting process, as well as keeping mining strong through a reformed general mining law that would be, as the National Mining Association says on its website, quote, fair, predictable, and efficient. In fact, here's a quote from the senator from February of last year. He said, "I'm willing to consider any proposal for mining reform that protects the mining industry, doesn't kill jobs, and shares revenues with the state." It sounds like this Silver Institute has a good group of friends called the Nevada Delegation. Tell us about some of your work on the Hill and how your visit.
Well, they've been great. And as you know, they are the backbone of the mining industry, at least from a hard rock perspective here in the United States. Time and time again, they have been asked collectively, sometimes on their own, to stand up for silver and for hard rock mining, gold and silver included. You don't have to go far back. You mentioned the American Eagle program, and that was an interesting problem initially, because when the most successful coinage program in the world to date began in 1986, and that's our American Eagle coin program. Sure. And last year we sold over 40 million American Silver Eagle coins, setting a new record. And every year it just gets higher and higher. A lot of that has to do with investment demand. But when that bill was originally drafted in 1986, the silver that was used came from the defense stockpile. When that was depleted in early 2002, they needed new sources to go back and continue to make sure this program remained fluid. And the delegation, including Senator Reid, was very instrumental in ensuring that there was a seamless transition from the depletion of the stockpile to sales and purchases from the open market. By the way, from newly produced silver from the United States. So
that's whenever the silver stockpile is depleted. So when it starts running down, then you're not worrying.
It depleted. Right. We're now, that legislation authorized the Secretary of the Treasury to go ahead and make those purchases. Right. And there was never a blip or a bump in the sales or the production of those coins.
I want to talk nano legislation. Sure. You and I talked a little bit about this when we were preparing for the program. But first, I've teased it. What is a colloidal nano? What's colloidal nano silver?
Well, we don't get too involved in the colloidal aspect of it, but there is colloidal silver out there, and there are very good forms of colloidal silver being produced by labs and technicians and so forth. And then you have nanotechnology. And nanotechnology is not necessarily a new technology, but what it does, if you take a silver ion, you can break it down into a nano form and spread it even thinner across, say, a surface, for example, or in clothing, in textiles, which is another major use of silver, not only in the nano form, but in the its original ion form. And the reason why people, industry, and so forth are interested in using nano-based products is A, you can get a lot bigger bang for your buck. And not only that, it's more efficient. And from a silver standpoint, we look at it as something that is very, very important to our end uses. Now, while it will not chew up a lot of silver at the end of the day, it's important that there's no impediment to allowing these products to A, be registered at the EPA, and if proven safe, going to the market.
We're almost out of time for this segment, but I do want to know, I wanted to talk a little bit more about nanotechnology, but it goes so quickly. What does a reformed mining law mean to the silver industry?
Well, from a local perspective, I mean, from a domestic perspective, I think that's something they're very, very interested in. I mean, you hear from time to time opponents of hard rock mining attacking the royalty issue and so forth. And I know that the mining industry collectively here in the United States has gone to Congress on several occasions with concrete proposals, with a big give and take, for example, to reform the mining law. This is a battle that's been going on for many, many, many years. And the people on either side hope that the next year is going to be that year. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell where that's going to go. But I think that both the mining side and those folks that are concerned about the mining in this country would both be better if we came to some sort of resolution. And
I would think that the Silver Institute is on board with the National Mining Association, wanting something that's fair, predictable, and efficient. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Okay, we'll pick it up in a minute when we return. Just what is the Silver Institute? Why is it so important to Nevada and to the nation? That's right after this.
Every day, thousands of people in northern Nevada don't get enough to eat. 1 out of 5 children in northern Nevada go to bed hungry every night. But you can do something about it. Catholic Community Services of Northern Nevada has been providing help and creating hope in our community for more than 65 years. By donating food, time, or money, you can make a difference in a hungry person's life. When you make your generous donation to St. Vincent's Dining Room and St. Vincent's Food Pantry, you're helping to fight the scourge of hunger in northern Nevada. In these tough economic times, now more than ever, we need to help those less fortunate. To find out how you can donate to St. Vincent's Dining Room and St. Vincent's Food Pantry, call, click, or stop by, and together we can end hunger in northern Nevada.
Thanks to an ongoing commitment by America's mining companies, more than 2 million acres already have been reclaimed. To learn more about reclamation or other aspects of mining, visit nma.org, the National Mining Association.
You already watch Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce, Nevada's only statewide program produced in Washington, D.C. But for even more news from Capitol Hill that affects you, your family, and your business, you need to read Nevada's Washington Watch, our online newsletter. In-depth reporting on federal efforts that impact you. Our exclusive Inside the Beltway column, putting a microscope on Nevada's congressional delegation. Guest editorials about what Nevada needs from the Hill. Nevada's Washington Watch, your watch on Washington. Subscribe today at nevadaswashingtonwatch.com.
This girl is very pretty. It's inciting feelings of jealousy in me. We should pick on her.
I'm insecure about some things, so I think we should put some me stuff on here. Maybe even some lies, too.
Yeah. I just want to be accepted by you both. So I'm going to send this to my friends so they think I'm cool.
Kids bully for all kinds of reasons. None of them are good. Find ways to get involved at flipthescriptnow.org.
How will new energy technology make our lives better? Will geothermal, wind, and solar energy be a bigger part of our future? Yes. And soon it will all be in our backyard. Learn more at nvenergy.com.
And welcome back to Eye on Washington, our discussion of the great importance of the silver industry. We've been visiting with a guy who knows a lot about that, Michael DiRienzo, the executive director of the Silver Institute. Well, let's spend this segment learning a bit more about the Silver Institute and its importance to Nevada's mining industry. The Silver Institute is a nonprofit international association that draws its membership from across the breadth of the silver industry. This includes mines like those in Nevada, of course, but also silver refiners, bullion suppliers, manufacturers of silver products, and wholesalers of silver investment products. The Institute was established in 1971 to serve as the industry's voice in increasing public understanding of the many uses and values of silver. Here's just some of its goals: to encourage the development and uses of silver and silver products, to help develop markets for silver and its products, foster research and development related to the present and prospective uses of silver, collect and publish statistics about uses of silver and silver products, and spread knowledge and understanding of the uses of silver. And of course, all of that and also entails working with the silver-friendly folks on Capitol Hill to help educate the Congress on the importance of silver and mining in general. And Mr. DiRienzo, speaking of this educational side of yours, I do a lot of shows here on Eye on Washington on congressional caucuses, and those are, as you know, like-minded members who advocate for certain issues and causes. And many members of the Nevada delegation serve or have served. Some of them become senators. Some of them are no longer with us, but serve or have served on the House Mining Caucus. And I would guess that caucus is a big source of advocacy for you, isn't it?
It is indeed. We've been before the caucus on several occasions, not only letting them know about what we're doing at the Institute, but what are the issues confronting silver at any given day. We've talked briefly about nanotechnology. We have briefed them on some of the regulatory hurdles which silver and all nano products are facing. They've been a great resource for us, and particularly the Nevada delegation as well.
Sure. You know, Congressman Amade is very active on the House Mining Caucus. He's visited with me several times on the show about the importance of educating his House members on this issue. Silver mines, of course, are not in every state, and yet silver is important to every state. Is that something that when you're talking to members of Congress, you're trying to explain to them again? Think about the Band-Aids, about that breathing apparatus being made, about your automobile. Or do you educate them on the importance of that? And on?
Yeah, it's a little tricky for silver because unlike gold, only 30% of silver that comes from newly mined sources comes from a primary silver mine. That is a mine that produces over 50% silver. That's considered a primary silver mine. So we're confronted all the time with silver being a byproduct. Silver is a source from copper, gold, lead, zinc, and other metal mining activities. So when it comes to silver, it's easy to lay the case with respect to its importance to our everyday lives, and that, in fact, it does save lives. But the issue with respect to it being a big silver mine and so forth, that's a little hard to convey. Sure. But they get the story at the end of the day because the end result is something everybody's keenly interested in.
You know, yeah, the Nevada delegation certainly very much on your side. What are your concerns regarding other Hill leaders? Is this a silver-friendly Congress?
Yeah, I don't think silver has reached the level of gold in terms of it being a target, and I'm not even certain gold is a target of anything right now. I mean, you look at the price of gold, you look at the increase in the price of silver and gold collectively over the last 10 years. These have all been good for investors, whether at the institutional or at the individual level. A lot of people have put money into these hard assets as a way to diversify their portfolios. We're not seeing anything at the federal level in terms of more taxation on these products. As a matter of fact, we're looking to get parity for these investment products, the same way you would have for a mutual fund. Gold and silver, platinum and palladium are treated as a collectible right now, and they're taxed at a higher rate in terms of the capital gains rate than a regular mutual fund would be.
So a lot of your work with Congress would regard taxation?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're trying to get this rectified, but there's a lot of dust in the air right now as we approach sequestration, the budget deadlines, and so forth. There'll be plenty of room to get on an equal playing field once the new Congress gets underway.
And we're going to have our final moments together on Eye on Washington right after this.
All of us at Caesars Entertainment have something we want to say.
Play responsibly.
Play responsibly. We don't want you to gamble if you've had too much to drink.
You shouldn't gamble if you're lonely or depressed.
And if you're under 21, you're not allowed to play.
No, no, no.
No matter which of our casinos you come to, our message is always the same.
Play responsibly.
Play responsibly.
Play responsibly. We know you're coming to our casinos to have a good time, and we always want you to leave feeling like you did.
America's minerals have made us a nation of self-reliant dreamers, shaping our world and the endless ways we enjoy it. But red tape often forces us to import more than half the minerals we depend on. Minerals we already have. We don't import our dreams. Shouldn't that go for our minerals too? The National Mining Association. Learn more at nma.org.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting. So why would you do it while driving?
Leave risky driving to the professionals. Stop the techs, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Thanks to an ongoing commitment by America's mining companies, more than 2 million acres already have been reclaimed. To learn more about reclamation or other aspects of mining, visit nma.org, the National Mining Association.
And we are back with our closing segment of today's Eye on Washington. Mr. DiRienzo, I want to get back to a little more about the Silver Institute itself. And, you know, I outlined on my introduction some of its goals. What would you say, there are a lot of goals and great goals. What's its top goal?
Well, our top goal is to spread the word of silver to as many audiences as possible. And that, of course, includes Capitol Hill, educators, students, those interested in the market, and so forth. So we put out accurate, timely reports on the global silver market. We did our World Silver Survey this April. We'll be doing an update to the industrial demand report, and later in October, we'll be issuing a very in-depth report on China, which is a very important country with respect to silver. We do conferences. We speak at as many venues as we can. I'll be speaking in Hong Kong in a few months. We just left Europe. And, you know, the story of silver is one that needs to be told to as many folks as possible.
I mentioned you really have a broad membership. You know, of course, the great silver mines of great silver state of Nevada. But, you know, again, silver refiners and bullion suppliers, manufacturers of silver products. And as you're saying, you're international. So you have these types of clientele around the world.
Yeah, we truly are international in scope. And as you mentioned in the introduction, we celebrated our 40th year last year in 2011. And whether it be the silver mining companies, which literally come from all over the world, to those refiners who process their product, to those such as Tiffany's, which sell obviously very fine silver jewelry. These are all components of the global silver industry, and we work hard to make sure that all aspects are represented.
You know, quickly, we've got just about 5 seconds. Any big federal issues you see coming your way in 2013?
Well, we're keeping a close eye on nanotechnology and the EPA and the FDA.
Well, I hope we'll have you on here again. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you.
That does wrap up today's Eye on Washington, but we're always here for you, providing all the top federal news that Nevadans need to know. Just visit our website, joycecommunications.com. There you can subscribe to our Nevada's Washington Watch newsletter. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and check out our poll offerings and more federal issues that impact Nevada while you're on our site. Thanks again for joining us today on Eye on Washington. I'm Marilee Joyce in Washington, D.C. Have a good day.